one of the difficulties I have in my new current temporary home is finding legal places to park. That's not one. It's just an empty lot. I'm taking the risk that it'll be fine. I'm guessing I won't be here too long. Because I wanted to get on this trail. It's a converted rail. It's a rail trail. You know what I'm talking about. So, there's only, so far I've discovered like 2 official parking lots, entrances for this trail. And I've already seen them a number of times and I don't have the stamina to get very far. So, ostensibly, you can park on any road that's not blocking traffic, but I don't feel comfortable because I don't know the areas, I don't know the town. Anyway, even though I want to go that way, I think this way has more sun. It's a cold day, so I want to be out in the sun. I've got my sunscreen on. I've already talked about the fact that I don't think there need to be advertisements on in nature. So that's the supposed exit to the zoo. So it's a pretty, I hit something confusing. I hit it again. It's a, pretty good infrastructure that they have here, that they're, my contention, just because it fits my use case, I look out for me and people like me. I prefer infrastructure that's for transportation and daily use more than for exercise. And it's okay when it's used for both, but in this area I have seen some people using it for transportation, movement, which I think is good. Like I've seen after school kids walking on this, which is great. More kids should walk to and from school for sure. I have a gimbal on the way. It may be delayed due to blizzard. I think it was supposed to arrive today, but I haven't received a tracking number, so. I wish walking could solve all my health problems. There was a time when I thought it could, but I tear for so many reasons. I'm gonna chalk that up to sunscreen getting in my eye, maybe, or the sunlight. But I mean, I'll admit, I also just listen to the news and I get teary-eyed, or I think about the world as I wish it could be, and I get teary-eyed. I chose this before I chose a gimbal. Well, number one, it's much cheaper. I have a stand that I'm using to hold this. I'll show you. Oh God. I don't remember which way. Okay, it's magnetized. It's so strongly magnetized that that's how difficult it was for me to get it undone. But it's not a gimbal. Is that named after a person? Sponsored by the taxpayers. Like, that's nice, I guess, but I'm assuming that just means they weren't able to sell this mile, or I think they have ads more often than per mile. Then this sign, which gives you a mile marker, is also going to have a sponsored by on it. It's just, sorry, calm down. Anyway, because the gimbal is motorized, there's either a battery or charging or something going on. It's heavier. I don't know if I'm going to like having it. I mean, maybe I'll keep it in my car. And ultimately, I'm trying to change my base of operations in life. So, what would that look like? Because I won't have a car to hold things in. I suppose I'll have a backpack. I get a little down thinking about not having a home. But I don't feel down when I'm in Mexico. Ideally, I'd love to have an affordable apartment that's a base of operations there, but I think it's going to take me a while to find that. And I think in the meantime, I'm going to be going from place to place in Airbnbs type places, and it's difficult. Okay, now that I've warmed up, I wish I could magically transport myself back to where I started, where it was shady. Because this is an ugly part of the path. So I'll turn around, but I don't know at what point I'll get tired. I don't get to see very much in the way of my walks because I feel like I have to stay close to the car. What do you do when someone gives you advice and it's well-intentioned, well-meaning, but totally irrelevant? There's a lot of literature, there's a lot of media, there's a lot of talk about reaching out for help when you need help. Because the idea behind that is that what's preventing people from getting help is their pride and their inability to ask for it. I find the difficulty in seeking help is how few people are doing well enough to help. There are lots of times when I've asked for help and received no as the answer, or some variation of, like, if you ask for something specific and then you get a response and it is a detour and it doesn't help you get to where you're going, and it's like more work, kind of like the way the government helps people, like, oh, you're down and out and don't have any energy? Why don't you take on these pointless busy work tasks, and then you'll get less than the amount of help that you would need to survive and thrive. There's versions of that from private and public sources. So I find asking for help often makes me feel more alone. I'm receiving help, let me be clear. I'm currently living somewhere for free and getting fed for free. But I'm also paying for my own home that I'm not living in because it's for sale and no one's bought it. But that'll end soon, I hope. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a very good therapy session, does it? It looks like my parking in an empty lot inspired a big old truck to do the same. A camellia and an azalea. Speaking of help and governments, politics, I was thinking, I actually had this idea during maybe before the 2024 elections. So, some people have had positive opinions of Trump because of all the free money that we got during COVID. And I remember people being angry at Biden because he gave, it's typical Democratic idiocy. So I might get the figures wrong, but it's like, if most of the payments were $2,000, the last payment from Trump was, or the Republicans, was $400, and then the Democrats campaigned on saying you deserved your full $2,000, and so then they gave like $1,600 to make up the rest from the $400. You get what I'm saying? Like, and so people were saying that Biden shortchanged them for what he campaigned on. I know this is so long ago, but it's just a bad look, and it's typical Democrat stuff that everything is about technicalities, and you can't just, no one ever ran on giving free money, well, except for George W. Bush. Anyway, I've heard it said as a danger of leftism to campaign on giving people free money, that's the danger of left populism, is that you're just going to promise people money. But in my lifetime, the people who have done that are like W. Bush and Donald Trump. And I just thought, so what? I think every Democrat should run on giving people money. And there are legitimate reasons behind it. So for one thing, the tariffs were just declared illegal. Tariffs increased the prices of so many goods, you might as well say all goods. Tariffs have been a source of inflation. Another source of inflation was COVID. And you can do the research if you want. I mean, it exists, it's out there, that the inflation rates were a product of greed, not a product of costs actually going up. So sometimes Democratic candidates will run and use the term greedflation. But they don't, they might talk about fighting it or stopping it or whatever, but they don't, and they might talk about raising taxes and doing all these structural changes, which are complicated and rarely come to pass. But they don't run on just saying, we're going to give you your rebate. And I think they should. I think it's a way of acknowledging the system is flawed. The system is not flawed, but working as intended against you. And we are going to, try to change it. But in the meantime, here's some money. Hey, just in the meantime, here's some money in acknowledgement of the fact that the system is ripping you off. I think it's a great idea. If you want to have a formula and come up with like why you think it should be a certain amount, or if you want to tie it to incomes. Now, I know they have different things that pay back as part of paying taxes, usually tied to how many children you have or whatever. But I just think if everybody got some money, it'd make them like that politician. And I think Democrats should do it because Republicans have done it twice in my lifetime. Okay, I don't know how much farther I'm gonna be able to go. You know, how you doing? You know, I get tired, so I'll go a little bit farther and then turn around. What's his face? There was a guy who ran on something like this. He was talking about giving you your data, your rebate for all the way that big tech ripped you off. I think was the guy's name. After he ran in the Democratic primary, and then I think he ran for something in New York, mayor, governor. I don't know. He kind of fell off, but he didn't have much that I could tell. He didn't have much in the way of policy beyond the tech dividend, which, you know, again, free money, great, but you have to have also more to your platform than that. It looks so cute here. I just wish there were more entrances, more places to stash your car and get on this trail. For those of us who don't live near it. Here's two sponsor signs next to each other. So they didn't take down the taxpayer one. They just added, when they got money, they just added another one next to it. GP Cellulose, probably a big polluter around here, letting you know that they like you getting out and breathing the polluted air they produce, something like that, I'm sure. GP, most likely Georgia Pacific. And that one's so dirty, it should have been removed. Okay, whatever that is up there where I see signs, is that where I'm gonna turn around? I have this dilemma. Well, I don't know if I want ice cream today anyway because I've had a bunch of milk. But I have this dilemma that so far the only ice cream that I like in this town is in a strip mall in a horrible location, nowhere near anywhere that I want to walk. And then the one that's the most convenient to walking is just terrible. because I like to get a cone and walk while I lick it. Bamboo. At some point, I had wondered whether bamboo required certain temperatures warmer than this, but wow, it's like a bamboo forest. You can make a bunch of stretchy, uncomfortable sheets. If you like bamboo, great. I like cotton. A specific kind of cotton that's feels very sleek. Bamboo's great for making walking sticks, fishing poles. My name is Rob. I am an artsy humanist. artsy.com, humanism.com, .org. What's the idea behind that? I don't have the energy to get into it. I'll just say my art is theoretically for sale, so it's a .com, whereas my ideas are for free, so it's a .org. And I'm making an effort to stream daily so that there's a soft-spoken nonprofit alternative to all the screaming manipulative commerce. Oh my God, Metro Crime Stoppers. I suppose I'm gonna have to turn around. When I get in my car, I'll figure out which segment of the trail I just covered. Cheap Toe, West Street. According to this, one person gave me a thumbs up and no one's watching, so that's about right. one thing I like about this section of the trail, there are fewer exercisers on it. Not that there's anything wrong with exercisers, but when normally I get on near the car parks, so I'm seeing lots of people, and I have to like get out of their way, and I'm experiencing less of that. Because as I've discussed in the past, I like walking on the wrong side of the road. I might as well repeat myself because I remember now. I think the one where I talked about that was one of the ones I made without audio. So, on paths without cars, without motorized vehicles, even though there are occasionally e-bikes, there are occasionally golf carts. I just passed a sign that said no motorized vehicles. On paths such as that, the bicycle is the fastest. And I prefer to walk on the left, facing oncoming bicycle traffic, oncoming fast traffic, than to be on the right and have them come up and behind me and surprise me. Because I might sway into their way, I might, there's all sorts of things I might do if I don't see them coming. So if I walk on the left side and see them coming, I'm much more aware and ready to let them pass safely. But no one but me does this. It's always person, bike, and then bike, person. Whereas I would prefer it to be person, bike, bike, person. And I know that's too complicated for most people. And considering the fact that like I go on these kinds of paths a lot and nobody does my version, I guess I'm just wrong. But I'm gonna keep doing it when possible. So if someone came along behind me right now, I wouldn't care because they'd be far enough away from me. They could just zoom by, like without my awareness. If I have awareness that someone's coming up on me, then because I'm out of step with norms, if I have awareness that someone's coming, yes, I'll move over to the normal people place. But by walking here, I have more of a chance of being aware in advance. Leaf River Cellulose. What do you think they make? Tape? Foam? Packaging? I don't feel well. Surprise, surprise. What do I want? Nothing. Every day is meh. I have to give myself credit for doing little things. There's a dead snake. I mean, is walking a little thing. I've been writing a lot. I wrote a lot in the past day or two on my social media. Of choice. And then I didn't go back and check notifications. I'm in a fear cycle. When I told my physical therapist, the person I'm seeing the most often, that I put, that I broadcast my thoughts. She called it brave, but it's really not, or is it? Because I'm not open to interacting. So I think up there around where that person is where I get off to get to the car. I talked about viewers and thumbs up. My remedy for any worry or anxiety or whatever related to that would be to have a streaming screen with none of that information. So yeah, I'm closed off to interacting. And then I think, well, why? Couldn't it be valuable to interact? Well, so far, my interactions on Twitch, now, I mean, I have some comments on YouTube that might be good, but I don't read them. I just sometimes I see like a snippet of them, preview text or something. I just, since I don't like corporate sites, I don't want to interact with people on them. And some of it is really negative, or just off topic, put it that way, a distraction. So it's it doesn't help, So that's how that goes. Hey. So I think if I were streaming on the Fediverse and people could comment from their Mastodon ID kind of thing, maybe I'd be interested in talking. But at the same time, I mean, so I'm trying to get through, like, what's my aversion to talking? What's the cause of it? What's the result, good or bad? I think that I'm just not. I think I'm barely getting by. I don't know if I'm always going to be in that state, but I am afraid of distraction kind of getting me off the track of survival. I'm taking this walk for survival. I'm talking this therapy for survival. This is the therapy that I can afford. There are different types of therapy. And sometimes people, I talked at the beginning about advice, help. Sometimes people might have good insights, good advice, ideas that help. I think that's rare. I think it's more likely that help is a distraction because they're offering, it just is changing your focus. Now you have new tasks to do I don't know. I'm prejudiced, right? I mean, I think that my physical therapy helps. And I think people say things that help reframe my thinking. Yeah, that's true. I guess when it comes down to what I consider my biggest problems, I don't think people are a lot of help. Because I think the barrier to progress on the biggest problems is in me, and it's fear of change, fear of failure, suffering, pain, mistreatment. I don't know. I'm tired all the time. But yeah. In any event, there's a type of therapy in which the therapist just listens and reflects your thoughts back to you. And sometimes it's made fun of, but it's sort of ooh, how does that make you feel? Like they're not going to give any opinions. They're going to help you unlock your own beliefs. I don't know. What does it mean to see MLK quotes in an area where there's no sense of change or possibility for change? I guess that's my negative take. But MLK died 60 years ago. almost. And members of both parties have been praising him for decades. But there's no one I know. Oh, I guess she was honking to the camera. That's funny. Well, you missed it. Somebody honked to me. Of course it was someone. Is it dangerous if I say, of course it was someone black? When I hang out in public, black people are the only people who have just a wide open sense of community. I had the camera facing the wrong way. I don't think I stopped to show any flowers up close today, which goes against my religion. So I'll look at this one in the middle of a trashy ditch. And there's a bud. All right, well, my car is safe. I should back up because I'm on some limb. I don't know why I parked where I did. That's good. It's a good walk. It's a good stream length. Oh, also, therapy sessions never get to the end. They never get to the solution. Sometimes you have breakthroughs, but most of the time you don't. Most of the time, it's just like this. You say a little bit, and you leave frustrated. Oh, is that true? Let's just say some sessions are like that. This is one of those sessions. I've paid for plenty. And this one was free. All right, bye. See you tomorrow.